the ultimate Nishkritam atonement. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Shukadev Goswami continued, "My dear king, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is able to uproot even the reactions of the greatest sins. Therefore, the chanting of the Sankirtan movement is the most auspicious activity in the entire universe. Please try to understand this so that others will take it seriously." Purport. We should note that although Ajamil chanted the name of Narayan imperfectly, he was delivered from all sinful reactions. The chanting of the holy name is so auspicious that it can free everyone from the reactions of sinful activities. One should not conclude that one may continue to sin with the intention of chanting Hare Krishna to neutralize the reactions. Rather, one should be very careful to be free from all sins and never think of counteracting sinful activities by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. For this is another offense. If by chance a devotee accidentally performs some sinful activity, the Lord will excuse him, but one should not intentionally perform sinful acts. So it's a very beautiful text, this one. Actually, 31 is quite amazing text, the one that we are reading, and 32 is even better. So I think we'll just go ahead and read 32 also. I'll just do the Sanskrit. Shrinvatam grinatam viryanya udamani harer muhu yata sujataya bhaktya sudeye natma vratadibhi. Translation. One who constantly hears and chants the holy name of the Lord and hears and chants about his activities can very easily attain the platform of pure devotional service, which can cleanse the dirt from one's heart. One cannot achieve such purification merely by observing vows and performing Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Purport. One may very easily practice chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord and thus become ecstatic in spiritual life. Padma Purana states, Namaparadha yuktanam namanyeva harantyagram avishranti prayuktani tanyevartha karanicha. Even if one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offensively, one cannot avoid offenses by continuously chanting without deviation. One who becomes accustomed to this practice will always remain in a pure transcendental position, untouchable by sinful reactions. Shukadev Goswami especially requested King Parikshit to note this fact very carefully. There is no profit, however, in executing the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. By performing such activities, one may go to the higher planetary systems, but as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Shine Punya Martya Lokam Vishanti. When the period of one's enjoyment in the heavenly planets is terminated because of the limited extent of the results of one's pious activities, one must return to earth. Thus, there is no use in endeavoring to travel up and down in the universe. It is better to chant the holy name of the Lord so that one may become fully purified and eligible to return home back to Godhead. This is the aim of life and this is the perfection of life. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, we have a very special topic of discussion this week, right? Chanting. And what's the festival? It's the Holy Name. The Festival of the Holy Name. So it's kind of most important activity of our Hare Krishna movement, or as Prabhupada says, it's the perfection of life, chanting of the Holy Name without offenses. So as we all know, this is Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga is the age of quarrel. The age of quarrel. There is fight, there is disturbances, there's many problems. So nothing else works, as we already know. Nothing in Kali Yuga would work. The only thing that works is chanting of the Holy Name. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kevalam, Kalau Nascheva, Nascheva, Gatiranyata. I forgot one Nascheva. Kalau Nascheva, 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 Gatiranyata. Yeah? Nothing else works in the age of Kali, in the age of quarrel, other than chanting of the Holy Name. There is no other way. No other way. No other way. He said it 3 times, That's how important the emphasis is, because there is no other way. And Shukadev Goswami, in this text that we just read, you don't see Shukadev Goswami tell Maharaj Parikshit, please listen this carefully, what I'm about to say, because he already knows. Maharaj Parikshit is already paying attention to everything he's saying, But he specially states that in this text that please listen carefully what I'm about to say, so that everyone can listen and understand the importance of the Holy Name. So, in the age of Kali, there's a lot of disturbances, and there's nothing else that works, We know from the stories and examples of sages of Nemasharanya, the 4 Kumars, they started doing a yagya, a sacrifice, And what happened in the yagya? They were just covered with the dust and smoke, They didn't receive the result, what they wanted. So they knew, if you want to achieve the result, you need to change. We need a discourse of action. We need to try something else to achieve the result we are trying to get. What did they do? They started Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, because they knew this is the activity. Like, for example, I hear a pastime, Prabhupada pastime, when in India, in Mayapur, in Vrindavan, when the Krishna Balaram temple was set up, there was a lot of local sadhus and gurus that were invited to attend the opening of the temple. And many big sadhus and big gurus and, saintly people who were attending this grand opening. And the yajna was actually being performed by some of the Western devotees, of Prabhupada. And they were not, in a lot of sadhus and gurus, and they noticed that a lot of these Western devotees, they were not chanting the Sanskrit mantras, perfectly. They were chanting with a lot of, like I was chanting in the beginning, with a lot of offenses, because Sanskrit isn't our main language. We're not well recited in Sanskrit, so we do, sometimes pronunciation is very difficult, So this is what they were doing, and a lot of sages, all these saintly people, were very offended. They're not chanting properly, they should not be reciting these mantras. And then the devotees came to Prabhupada and told Prabhupada that that's what these saintly people are saying. Prabhupada says, most of these saintly people don't know anything about the Shastra, They have never read, like we clearly read in the Shastra. If you perform Hare Krishna mantra, that's the most auspicious activity, Yes, there will be offenses and there will be mistakes in reciting mantras and shlokas, but Prabhupada asked the devotees to please chant Hare Krishna along with it, While the yajna was going, there were devotees in the back also chanting Hare Krishna. So everything is good, everything is sorted. So this is the potency of a spiritual master who has the knowledge. Before starting Bhagavatam, we recite Om Ajnana Timirandasya. That means my spiritual master, with the torch of knowledge, he has removed my darkness, or darkest of ignorance that I was living in. So this is why we understand the importance of a bona fide guru. in the tradition. So because of this disciplic succession, we are able to chant the holy name of Krishna. Otherwise, if Krishna is not, if the Guru is not merciful, what is a Guru? A Guru's goal is to make sure everyone is chanting Hare Krishna properly. That's the goal of a Guru. But Prabhupada also says there will be offenses, because we are in Kali Yuga. We will make offenses and chanting will be difficult, but keep chanting, keep chanting. The offenses will steadily go away, Like, it's not, bhakti is not an emotion. It's a lifestyle. It takes years of perfection to get to the offenseless stage of chanting. We know this from many examples. Ajamil is one. He was a saintly person, but then he fell down. But because he was so lucky, he had some good fortune, pious thing, that Lord Vishnu was very merciful on Ajamil. That even at the time of death, he wasn't even thinking about Krishna. He just chanted the name of Lord Vishnu with pure Narayan. He chanted with pure attention, and he got the highest result. So this is the credibility. This is the importance of chanting the holy name, Because sometimes when we chant the holy name, we think that, it's not working, I'm not feeling, half the time I'm just sleeping, falling asleep, there's too much distractions in the mind, I have to do this and that. So all these disturbances, sometimes, when I'm chanting, I feel like everything that I don't want to think about actually comes in my mind. So has anyone ever felt like that, or is it just me? Sometimes when we chant, everything that we don't want to think will actually start coming in our mind. So this is Kali Yuga. Attack of Maya will be very strong because we are influenced in the greatest way. Chanting is no problem, When you chant Hare Krishna, that Krishna's name, the holy name of Krishna is Purna Shuddha. Purna Shuddha means completely pure. With chanting, nothing can go wrong. Even a person who doesn't want to chant Hare Krishna and still ends up chanting Hare Krishna gets some benefit, So there's nothing can go wrong, but what goes wrong is hearing. Hearing is the problem, because we can chant, but if we're not hearing, we're not getting the highest result. We're not getting the taste. Just like if I cook something for you and I just leave it in front of you and tell you not to taste it, then you can't, you know how good it could be, You know the potency. It's like, imagine the best cook in the world, he cooks you something, but he puts it in front of you and doesn't serve you. Like he tells you can't eat it. It's just right there, but you can't eat it, Imagine how you would feel. So chanting is also like that, Unless we actually hear what we are saying, the holy name of the Lord attentively without offenses, we cannot taste the nectar of the holy name. So this is kind of very important, And we have like this beautiful story. So because it's a special festival of the holy name, and this festival of holy name would not be complete without discussing some pastimes of Namacharya, Haridas Thakur. So we'll just quickly go through one of the most famous pastimes of Haridas Thakur. So as we all know, we must have read or heard somewhere that, Haridas Thakur was a very saintly devotee. He's Namacharya, the greatest of the greatest chanters there's ever been. Lord Chaitanya himself named Namacharya. So one day Haridas Thakur was sitting in, I can't remember the name of the place. So he was sitting Belgaum or something. I can't remember, something like that. So he was sitting in this cottage and had Tulsi plant. He was worshipping the Tulsi plant, and he was chanting 300,000 names or something more, even more. He was chanting so many names of Hare Krishna mantra so many times every day. He had like this weekly or monthly quota of these fixed number of rounds that I need to finish. So he sat down, he started chanting, and there was this very envious person, very envious person of the Vaishnavas, and he did not like Haridas Thakur, because Haridas Thakur was well respected in the community. He was looked upon, everyone worshipped him, because he was such a saintly man. But this envious person with the name of Ramachandra Khan, he hated Haridas Thakur. He was very envious. And we all know when someone is envious, he does everything he can in his power to bring that person down, As I heard from one of the great devotees in the class that, envy doesn't mean that I want what you have, Envy means that I want you to suffer. I want you to go down, I want you to pay the price. That's what envy is. So Ramachandra Khan was very envious of Haridas Thakur, and he decided to defame Haridas Thakur's glories, He did not like Haridas Thakur being respected in the community. So what he did, he hired an adult worker, adult sex worker. He hired one, and he told that lady to go, and defame Haridas Thakur. And take a soldier or a servant, he will see when you do it, he will bring Haridas Thakur and arrest Haridas Thakur for his mischievous conduct. So that lady said, okay, but today I'll go by myself. First I'll try to see, how Haridas Thakur is, and, try to attract him and, all that stuff. And then you can send the worker or your servant and arrest Haridas Thakur. So that lady went to Haridas Thakur where he was chanting peacefully in a very, unique place with his cottage and tulsi plant. So that lady went, that sex worker went, and, she saw Haridas Thakur and told Haridas Thakur that you are such a great man, you are such a saintly person, I would like to have intimate relationship with you. And Haridas Thakur was very smart. He said, yes, I would also like that very much, I am also attracted by your amazing bodily features, and I would like that very much. But the thing is that I had taken a vow. I have promised myself that I will finish the certain number of rounds of the holy name. And after I'm finished, I will take pleasure with you. I will perform whatever you want. I'll take the action with you. And the lady was happy. She's like, there we go. I have achieved what I wanted. The result is almost there. All I have to do is just wait. Then Haridas Thakur told this lady that, you please sit here, hear me chant the holy name. And tomorrow I will be able to finish, because I'm almost through the number of rounds I have decided to finish. By tomorrow I'll finish, and then I'll be able to perform, take part in pleasure activities with you, sense gratification. So she said, okay, no problem. She sat there, and all night Haridas Thakur chanted the Hare Krishna mantra. And that lady was just watching, Haridas Thakur chant the glory. She was hearing. She wasn't even chanting. She was just hearing the first day. And in the morning, Haridas Thakur, I still haven't been able to finish these rounds, So you please come back tomorrow, Tomorrow I'm sure I'll be able to finish these rounds, and then we will enjoy. So that lady left, this adult worker left, and she went to Ramachandra Khan, updated Ramachandra Khan that tomorrow I'll get Haridas Thakur, because today he's just doing some of his activities, and by tomorrow he will be done, and then, you will have what you want. So she went the next day to Haridas Thakur, and Haridas Thakur was still chanting, But this lady is already influenced by spending some little association with Haridas Thakur, that she saw Tulsi plant, and she bows down to Tulsi plant. She starts respecting Tulsi. And she's sitting there, Haridas Thakur is saying that, look, I'm almost there, and another night I'll be able to finish all my rounds, and tomorrow will be the day. And that lady says, okay, I just got to wait a little more, I just got to be a little more patient. So, and that the lady, she was hearing Haridas Thakur chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and this time she also started chanting along. She was chanting the name of Lord Hari, and then she was listening. If you listen to something for a while, it just sticks in your head. What to speak of when you listen to something from a pure devotee, that just touches your heart, not just your mind, So That's what she was doing. She also started chanting Hare Krishna mantra. And over time, within time, her anarthas were purified, that she thought that she had a realization that what she's doing is so wrong. Haridas Thakur is such a great devotee. And how can I do such a thing to him? I need to take shelter of this saintly man and accept him as my spiritual master. So she told Haridas Thakur that I have committed the greatest of offenses in this world. I've lived a sinful life. I have committed such great offenses. Please forgive me. I don't want to do harm to you. Because of the influence of this envious person, Ramachandra Khan, I was here to do such sinful activities. But now I have realized, as we heard in the purport, Prabhupada was saying, chanting of the holy name can eventually purify the heart. Cheto darpan marjan. So this is what she realized. And how was this possible? How was this possible for one of the most degraded activities someone is involved in to purify instantly? We also heard that sadhu sangha sarva shastra koe, lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Just by a moment of association with a pure devotee, one can achieve the highest platform. One can achieve the love for Krishna, the love for Godhead, only by the mercy of a pure devotee. So this is why association with pure devotees is very important. Because unless we have the pure devotees around us, we will not be able to achieve the highest result. As we all know, when Prabhupada started the movement, he had what? 30 rupees or less, Hardly anything he had to start this movement. But because he had purity, he had sincerity, he had firm belief and faith in Krishna, that Krishna will take care and I just have to perform my duty of bringing people to Krishna consciousness. So he was able to perform this unhumanly activity or task of, cultivating these thousands of Western devotees who's never even heard of the name of Krishna. They were able to take up the process, which was so beautiful. And, there were disturbances. Even when Prabhupada was there were many devotees that were feeling the disturbance. But Prabhupada would only say one thing to them: please keep chanting. Don't ever stop chanting. Because chanting is our life and soul. Prabhupada has put these few things of order that you need to pay attention to. And chanting is the first one. For example, I remember a past time where the devotees were, we all know, like I said this so many times, how printing and publishing and book distribution is one of the most dear services to Prabhupada, And and we all know that. We all know the importance of book distribution and book publishing. At that time, when printing of these books were the most crucial activity in ISKCON at a certain time. And these devotees were working so hard, to print these books of Prabhupada that they were hardly getting any time, And they were stopped chanting and they wouldn't finish their rounds in time. 16 prescribed number of rounds, they wouldn't even get time to finish it. And when Prabhupada found that out, he was very displeased. He says, shut down all the printing. I don't want any more books. I don't want any printing. If the devotees are not able to chant their prescribed number of rounds, I don't want anything else. So this is how important chanting is. Prabhupada was ready to shut down everything. His life and soul was book distribution. He was able to shut that down, printing of these books, if devotees were not able to chant their numbers of rounds. So when a spiritual master has so much faith and belief in his disciple, it's also the responsibility of his disciple to respect that faith. He may not have that much faith in his guru, but it's a responsibility of a disciple. If you have taken a guru, please respect him in that way, If Prabhupada has given us 16, and He didn't even want us to give 16 rounds. He wanted to give 64 rounds, But all the Bhaktisiddhanta disciples chant 64 rounds, to be a Brahman. If you chant anything less than that, you're not considered Brahman. But Prabhupada was so merciful, He told devotees, you have to chant every day 64 rounds. And devotees like, Prabhupada, it's not going to happen. It's not possible, There's too much to do. We can't spend 64 hours, about 8 hours of chanting a day. You can't do that when you have other services and so much other things going on. Mentally, you can't do that. What to speak about when you have services and stuff. So Prabhupada says, okay, chant 48 rounds every day. Prabhupada's like, oh God. Devotees are like, can't do that, Prabhupada. It's too much. It's too much chanting. We can't do that in one day. We'll just go mad and stuff. Prabhupada's like, all right, 32 rounds. Please do 32 rounds. Devotees like, oh, we can try, Prabhupada, but I think we won't be able to do it. So it's just too much. It still feels too much. And then Prabhupada said, all right, 16 rounds, and I'm not going a single round less. 16 is the final. Please chant 16 minimum rounds. So we should do that, We should respect Prabhupada, who's already made it so much easier for us, He took so much, He took so much disturbances from other saintly people for the benefit of us, to give us the highest goal, He already made so much adjustments in the tradition, even Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, He made so much adjustments so that we all can understand and get the love of Krishna. So we should respect that. We should try to be humble and, at least chant 16 rounds every day if we have committed or taken vows to do that and follow the 4 regulated principles. Because this is Vaidhi Bhakti. This is sadhana bhakti. If you want to achieve the highest result, you follow your spiritual master. And only by his mercy we can get the highest goal. So we got distracted from Haridas Thakur. So we'll go back to Haridas Thakur's pastime. So when this lady who was performing sinful activities, and actually the purport also mentioned about sinful activities, So as we, I don't know about the West, but actually in the West also, in any religion, any religious faith you take, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Hinduism or Muslim, Like for example, I had a lot of Christian friends, and what would they do? Growing up, I was hearing these, they would perform these sinful activities. They would go to the church, Father, please forgive me for I have committed this sin, and the Father will forgive, and then they'll go back and do the same thing again. Perform sinful activities. So this is false atonement. This is not very good. We see that in India also, all these karmis and, they worked in sinful activities, they performed, and they go to the Ganges, just to destroy the sin or take bath in the Yamuna, and they destroy the sins and then go back to their daily sinful activity life. And Prabhupada says that this is like a mad elephant offense, Just like an elephant who goes in the water to clean and then comes out and rolls in the dust. It's like there's no point cleaning. So there's no point. Atonement should be done, The atonement that we understand is not really what we understand. So atonement is not that you should perform atonement so that you can keep performing sinful activities. That's the wrong way. That's not really atonement, Atonement is that if you because this is Kali Yuga, the influence will be very strong of Maya. So sometimes, by mistake, someone will make an offense. By chance that will happen. And when that happens, one should not give up the chanting of the holy name. One should take the shelter of the holy name even more. That is true atonement. Rather than, just trying to chant or just trying to perform these activities of atonement just to get free of sinful activities. That's not how we should do. That's not what a pure devotee does. A pure devotee doesn't chant the holy name so that he can get free from sinful activities. That's not the goal of a pure devotee. A pure devotee chants so that he can get the love of Krishna eventually and gradually. So we should all remember this beautiful point. And when Haridas Thakur accepted this sex worker as his disciple, and told this lady to go give up all the possession you have to the Brahmanas, and then please come, sit down, worship the Tulsi plant, and chant the holy name of the Lord. And we know the result, right? We know that lady, she was chanting 300,000 holy names every single day. And we cannot conceive that. This is the influence of a great devotee. So, we have only 16 rounds. Imagine 300,000 rounds. It's just blow your mind away. You can't do that in Kali Yuga. So we should learn from this example that, by the mercy of a pure devotee, things become easy. And that lady actually became a great saintly person herself. Many of the locals were amazed to see what Haridas Thakur has done to this lady, who was one of the most fallen persons. She was engaged in the most fallen activities, but just by little association of a pure devotee, she was able to achieve the highest goal. So we should try to take shelter of the devotees and hear Krishna Katha. I was actually reading about this. Prabhupada says that chanting is important, but hearing is even more important. That's the first process in the 9 processes of devotional service. What's the first one? Shravana. And then Kirtana. First you have to hear and then chant and glorify. So hearing is also very important. So we should take this time and opportunity that we have, whatever opportunity or time we get. Because as Prabhupada says, this is the perfection of life. So we should use this lifetime to perfect in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So the time's up. I'll stop here. If there's any questions, comments, or corrections, please. Alright, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.